21st Century Philippine-Chinese Connection.
Let's take a look at the current Philippine-Chinese relationship. Philippine-China economic relations. China has imported more than 2 million tons of tropical fruits worth $1.5 billion from the Philippines. In more than 2 years, China has become the Philippines' largest trading partner, largest export market, and largest source of imports. Bilateral trade between the Philippines and China has reached $50 million in 2017. Under Duterte's administration, Chinese investment pledges in the Philippines went up by 2,072% in just a year. Data from the Philippine Statistics Authority stated that the total approved foreign investments from China totaled 50.7 billion pesos in 2018, with the highest surge reported in the fourth quarter at 47.98 billion pesos. Current Philippine-China political relations. On October 2016, President Rodrigo Duterte goes to China for a 4-day state visit, making headlines after Duterte announces on October 20 a military and economic split from the United States. The government secures billions worth of deals with China, including business-to-business contracts, public financing agreements, and soft loans for development projects. Duterte and Chinese President Xi Jinping also agreed to pursue bilateral talks on the issue of West Philippine Sea. In addition, the two leaders signed off on 13 bilateral cooperation agreements. The Philippine-China maritime dispute. As the Duterte administration claims friendlier ties with China, Philippine officials report several sightings of Chinese vessels crisscrossing Philippine waters without due notice. In April, ABS-CBN News reported 4 China Coast Guard vessels guarding the shoal. 2 were anchored in the lone passage into the inner lagoon while another 2 were patrolling the periphery. China's white Coast Guard ships have become a permanent fixture in and around Panatag Shoal ever since a standoff with Philippine vessels in 2002. Accompanying the 4 China Coast Guard white ships in guarding Panatag Shoal were 2 huge blue trawlers that local fishermen and security officials understood to be Chinese maritime militia. On the night of June 9, Chinese trawler Yumabin U-42212 rammed the stern of Philippine fishing boat Gemver as it was anchored near Rectobank in the West Philippine Sea. The smash left a hole in Gemver that caused it to sink. The Chinese ship abandoned the 22 fishermen on board Gemver in the open sea. The ramming and sinking of Gemver has been the most heated issue in the West Philippine Sea since the Scarborough Shoal. The ramming and sinking of Gemver has been the most heated issue in the West Philippine Sea since the Scarborough Shoal standoff in April 2012. Despite public outcry, President Rodrigo Duterte dismissed the sinking of Gemver as a maritime accident, echoing the Chinese Foreign Ministry which downplayed the boat sinking as an ordinary maritime traffic incident. The Hague ruling. The Permanent Court of Arbitration on July 12, 2016 said an arbitral tribunal has ruled in favor of the Philippines in its historic case against China over the West Philippine Sea. The PCA said the tribunal concluded that, as between the Philippines and China, there was no legal basis for China to claim historic rights to resources, in excess of the rights provided for by the Convention, within the sea areas falling within the 9-dash line. This ruling by an arbitral tribunal in The Hague, Netherlands, comes after a 3-year process pursued by Manila but snubbed by Beijing. President Rodrigo Duterte recently said he allowed China to fish in the West Philippine Sea, part of the South China Sea that is exclusive to the Philippines. In Xi meeting, Duterte sees stronger momentum in Philippine-China ties. At his meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing on Thursday, August 29, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte said the ties between their countries can only get stronger, despite recent challenges. Duterte lauded the expanding cooperation in defense and security between the two countries. Philippine-China social relations. During his third State of the Nation address in 2018, Duterte vows to defend the West Philippine Sea amid re-energized relationship with China. Our improved relationship with China, however, does not mean that we will waver in our commitment to defend our interests in the West Philippine Sea, the President says. On the second anniversary of the Hague ruling on July 12, 2018, photos of tarpaulins that read, "Welcome to the Philippines, province of China," go viral on social media. Strung across several footbridges around Metro Manila,
The banners have been labeled by officials to be the work of government enemies. The posters are said to parody a suggestion jokingly made by Duterte in February for China to make the Philippines its province. Chinese Ambassador Zhao Jinhua has slammed the tarpaulins, saying the Philippines has never been part of China.
On August 3, 2018, President Rodrigo Duterte attended the inauguration of a 500 million peso drug rehabilitation center in Malay Balay, Bukidnon, a donation from a group of Chinese businessmen. On July 31, 2019, the Chinese embassy in Manila announced in a statement that China has donated 10 million pesos for the victims of the twin earthquakes that rocked Batanes on July 27, 2019, as it expressed its deepest sympathies and condolences to families who either lost members or had been displaced by the tremors.
What are the impacts of Chinese culture on contemporary Philippine society? First, in terms of economic business, trading, and loans, 50 to 90% estimated share in local business are owned by Chinese Filipino businessmen. More than 30% of the country's top 1,000 corporations owned by Chinese Filipino families. In terms of major investments, Chinese Filipino businessmen are into real estate, commercial retail, electronics, food and consumer products, and banking. Most of well-known Filipino businessmen are Chinese Filipino, such as Gokongwei, Si, Tan, and Yuchenko. Some Filipino cuisines are influenced by the Chinese. Some of these are bihon, bak choy, lumpia, lomi, and kikiam. With regards to events and beliefs, we also celebrate Chinese New Year for prosperity and good luck. Some Filipinos believe in Chinese horoscope and zodiac signs, and even feng shui. In terms of language, some Filipino words were derived from the Chinese, specifically the Hokkien dialect. Some of these are hikaw, tiche, ingkong, bitchi. So what are the impacts of Chinese culture on 19th century Philippines? First is economic-oriented and independence. Second, introduction of kasama system. Third is the money lending and loans.